Hello, my name is Max Potashnik, and this is my spoken word on film/cinema. As a child, I would play video games to escape. I may have had a bad day, or I just wanted to play the new Super Mario Bros. Game that had just released a few days earlier. But as I've gotten older, I found comfort in cinema. I enjoy all sorts of genres: dramas, comedies, and action movies, just to name a few. I don't think I can put into words how much joy it brings me to watch a film. Other kids my age might find themselves doing drugs and drinking, but I constantly find myself watching movies instead. Why, you may ask? I'm not particularly sure, to be quite honest. But if I had to guess, it would be because I find movies to be comforting when others can't be there for me. Movies will always be there for me when someone else can't. Going to the movie theater to watch a film is always a great experience, whether or not I go with a family member or a friend, or just by myself. Walking into my local movie theater is like going to Disneyland for the first time. The lobby of the theater is decked out in these bright light bulbs that give it a really unique aesthetic. The power of a good movie is endless. There have been many nights where I find myself down in the dumps because of one reason or another. But something that pulls me out of my sorrows is watching a movie to immerse myself in a world different than my own. One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie by the name of Forrest Gump. All you need to know about that movie is that Forrest spends the entirety of his life being kind to others, no matter what. But the people around him are quite mean to him and laugh at him for being himself. Most of the things that Forrest experiences in his life I can't relate to. But some things about his character that I can heavily relate to is being kind to others, because I always try to be nice to others. A thing that isn't talked about a whole lot while discussing film is all the elements that make up a movie. Just to name a few: the soundtrack, the score, the cinematography, which is how the movie looks, storytelling, and so much more that I didn't name. Movies are an art form that can be enjoyed by all. And like art, movies are subjective. When examining a piece of art, a painting for example, the examiner determines what kind of art it is. Is the piece realistic? Is it abstract? Is it pop art? When I watch a movie, I examine the makeup of a film and determine how I feel about it, like an art examiner. Another great thing about movies is that they've been around for 100 years, which means you can go back to a movie from 50 years ago and notice how different the culture and environment is in the movies as compared to a movie that came out today. As people have evolved, so have movies. For example, a war movie from the 1970s might reflect on the Vietnam War. The movie that greatly represents the Vietnam War is called Apocalypse Now. The film follows a military captain sent out on a secret mission, and he is sent out on that mission in a boat with a crew. And in that crew is a character named Lance. He is a surfer who's a happy person who cracks jokes all the time, and is all around a pretty cheerful person. But during the course of the movie, the horrors of war are shown. By the end of the film, Lance is a shell of who he once was, because of how traumatic the war was for him. Another great aspect of cinema is the shared experiences that a film can bring to a person. A shared experience might be a yearly ritual that surrounds a certain movie and its setting, like watching the movie Elf during the holiday season. I have a ritual with a friend of mine where we watch the movie Step Brothers every year on January 1st. The story behind the movie is a good one. So my buddy and I, Jono, my friend, we were invited to a New Year's Eve party. And at this party, it was just a casual, there's fondue, we just hang out with our group of friends. But everyone who was invited to the party showed up. But it was nearing about 11:30, and everyone just left. They all made up stupid excuses, like, oh, I gotta go feed my goldfish. That isn't what someone actually said, but just pretty dumb excuses that, honestly. Anyway, and the people that were left were my friend Jono, my other friend Braden, and his girlfriend, and myself, obviously. And Jono and I were super bored, and we just needed to get out of there. And so we decided to go back to my house because we couldn't find anything else to do. And we were just bored, and we were like, oh, we should just watch Step Brothers. And now that's our yearly ritual, that tradition, that every year on January 1st, we watch that movie. And you might be thinking, oh, that's kind of lame. And to you it might be, but frankly, I find it to be quite beautiful that two people can connect with a bad memory like that, like everyone leaving, and that's kind of a bad memory, right? But I think that it's beautiful that film turned that bad memory into a good one. Anyway, thank you for listening.